is Philip. I came from Galilee. While all of my friends and I were in Bethany listening to the Baptist John the Baptist, he called us to become his disciples. I remember so well when he fed the 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish. However, as I listened to the Master, I have grown to understand his word. In fact, I can almost say that he who has seen the Father has seen the Son. Because everyone wants to find in the Father, I find in Jesus. There is a betrayer in our midst. Does the betrayer not know that he is betraying Jesus? Betraying Jesus, he is also betraying God. The conspiring against Jesus, he is conspiring against God. Can one of numbers be so blind? Who can it be? Can it be Philip? Is it I? Is it I?
My name is James, but since many men bear that familiar name, I am called James the Little or James the Lesser, being lesser in size than other men of the same name. I will never forget the day I saw the Master. I was passing down the road near the place where John was baptizing. I was curious to see what was going on, so I turned aside for a closer look. Then I saw Jesus asking John to baptize him. John refused, but Jesus insisted. After John had baptized the Lord, the heavens opened, and the Holy Spirit descended upon him in the form of a dove. And we heard a voice from heaven saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." And now one of us is to betray him? Surely it is madness to think that that could be. Surely the betrayer is out of his mind. But I keep asking myself, is it I? Is it I?
I am James, the brother of John. I followed Jesus with my brother while we were mending our nets by the Sea of Galilee one day almost 3 years ago. We were honored when Jesus wanted us as his disciples, and we were humbled when he wanted us to be among the 12 apostles. Father, grant us for us to sit one at your left and the other at your right when you come into your kingdom. But it was not in his power for him to grant us this power for us to sit at your left and the other in his right hand of the kingdom. The others were angry when we heard of our request, but Jesus reminded us that he would be the servant of all. When he distributed his words, he was washing our feet before the supper. He taught us the way to be loved by betrayed by one of those whom he loved. Why would somebody do such a thing? Who will it be? Is it I? Is it I?
I am Thaddeus, one of the disciples whom Jesus called to be an apostle. Jesus chose 12 of us to become the cornerstone of the new kingdom, just as the 12 tribes were the cornerstones of the old Jewish kingdom. I feel unworthy and numbered among his apostles, but he selected me. I will remember the day after the night in prayer. He called us to him, gave us authority to overclean spirits and power to heal every kind of disease and infirmity. He commissioned us to go forth and preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. He told us to be as wise as serpents and innocent as doves, since he has sent us forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. It's enough, he said, that the disciples be like his teacher and the servant as his master. I was in Jerusalem when he gave his great innovation. Come unto me, and ye labor are heavy laden, and I will give you the rest of my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And now he came to share his man's burden, has a burden thus upon him, the knowledge that one of us will betray him. Which one can it be? Who is the traitor? The man we least suspect. Or will all of us betray him before the night is over? Philip and Peter and Judas and John and even Thaddeus. It is I. It is I. Wait, is it I? Is it I?
I am Peter. One afternoon, me and my brother Andrew and I were fishing on the Sea of Galilee, casting our nets into the sea, when Jesus walked by and said, "Follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men." We immediately left our nets and followed him. One morning he said, "Simon, put out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch." And I said, "Master, we have toiled all night and have taken nothing, but at your word I will let down my net." We caught so many fish, we had to summon the other nearby boats to contain our catch. When we reached the shore, I fell at Jesus' feet and cried out, "Depart from me, O Lord, for I am a sinful man." But he told us thereafter there would be fishers of men. In fact, he changed my name from Simon to Peter, which means the rock. And when I confessed him as the Lord, our God, he said, "On this rock I will build my church." He warned me that before the crow crew twice, that I'll have denied him 3 times. Is it I? Is it I?
Like Zacharias, I am a tax collector. Some call me Levi and others call me Matthew, the publican. When my character changed through my fellowship with Jesus, he changed my name as well. He came to me one day when I was in my office collecting taxes. "Follow me," he said. So I rose up and I followed him. That day when I followed Jesus, I noticed that he was the fulfillment of every prophecy. And yet, he says someone will betray him soon. So do people suspect me because I am a hated tax collector? Or do I suspect myself? Is it I? Is it I?
I am Thomas, the twin, or Thomas called Didymus, which means twin. While I do not look upon life with gloom and despondency, I demand proof before I believe. I see before committing myself. I recall the day that Mary and Martha sent word to the Lord that their brother Lazarus was dead. Jesus turned to us and said, "Let us go to him." We all knew there was a growing opposition towards Jesus. So some of the apostles did not want to go to Bethlehem. They shrank in the unseen danger. But I remembered, I spoke up and I rebuked them all by saying, "Let us go to him so that we may die with him." Why do people remember my doubts and forget my daring? Why do people remember my questions and overlook the affirmations? Why do people remember my fear and forget my faith? I used to go fishing with some of the others, and I remember some of the beatitudes that he spoke to the horns of the Hattons. He opened the eyes of the blind, he cured the deaf, and he sent away the storms of the Galilee.
of Simon Peter, the first man who brought his brother to the Lord. I am not a gifted man, but an ordinary, average man like any of you. There was something in me that others overlooked because he called me to be one of the 12 apostles. I brought my brother Peter to Jesus, and then just recently some Greeks came seeking the master, and I was called again to bring them to the Lord. I have been a friend and a companion to my Lord ever since, and now one of us betrayed him. It is unthinkable. Is it I? Is it I?
I am Judas. All the others came from Galilee. They must have confidence in me because they elected me as their treasurer. They trust me with their money. And so does Jesus. He also picked me as one of his 12 disciples. Some may say that I have appropriated the funds for my own use and that Jesus' messages of money and the love of greed were personally directed to me. Of course I complained when Mary washed his feet with his expensive oils and perfumes. It was a waste of money. I believe in Jesus, but someone has to make himself assert himself as the Messiah and God. He refuses to make a move. Well, I've made one. He hints that he knows what I've done. He said so when he washed my feet a few moments ago. But I have my reasons. My soul isn't as black or as white as yours is. And what would you do if you were in my place and you needed Jesus to do something striking and daring and starting to usher in the kingdom? And if you were in his place, what would you do? Or should I be like the others and ask myself, is it I? Is it I?
I'm Simon Dwight, or Simon Zaleto. Before Jesus called me, I belonged to a group of hot-headed, bloodthirsty revolutionaries known as the Zealots. We were all for army-building against Rome. We believed in crushing our enemies under their heels and establishing the great nation glory that was Israel's in the days of David and Solomon. Yet Jesus told us of another kind of kingdom, the kingdom of the human heart where God reigns as supreme. Since I have heard this, I have changed my mind and also my allegiance. To think his thoughts, to love as he loves and whom he loves, to obey as he obeys, to serve as he serves. This surrender has not imprisoned me, rather it has set me free for the first time of my life. Now the Master says that there is a spiritual woman among us, one who can attempt force that can only be conquered by love. Who can it be? Matthew the publican, the big fisherman or his brother? Or does it suspect me, since I am the only former Zealot among us? Is it I? Is it I?
After Jesus called Peter and Andrew, he called me, John, and James, my brother. We were on the Sea of Galilee nearby with our father Zebedee when he called upon us and said, "Follow me." And we left our boat and our father immediately. Since then, I have learned to love Jesus as a person, and he has returned my love. He sometimes called me son, the disciple of beloved. Tonight, me and Peter decided to make the celebration of Passover. And now he says it's a betrayer among us. I cannot believe this, but though he said it, it has to be true. So I asked myself, oh Lord, is it I? Is it I?
On the night before he died, Jesus took bread, and after giving thanks, he broke it. And he said,
Take, eat.
So throughout the centuries, we have followed Jesus' example. We followed his actions, repeated his words every time we shared the table. And we are to say, take, eat. This shared the table, and we are to say that take, eat, this is my body given to you. Do this in remembrance of me. And in the same way, Jesus took the cup, and looking at his disciples, he said to them,
Drink, all of you. Do this in remembrance of me.
so we will all continue this sacrifice when we are gathered at the table. We say this cup is the new covenant, but not of my blood, shed to you for the forgiveness of my sins. And this is the remembrance of me.
Judas, go, quickly. Do what you must do. This drama is now complete. All is now prepared.